Consistency didn't fail you, but the way it has been taught to you did. Welcome to the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist podcast, where artists of all kinds come to fuel their passion, sharpen their skills, and thrive in their creative lives. I'm your host, Lara life and creativity coach and fellow artist, here to support you on your artistic journey. Whether you're a performer, writer, visual artist, or any kind of artist, this is the space for real talk, practical advice, and inspiring stories. Subscribe and join us each week for more inspiration and actionable insights to fuel your artistry. Let's dive in and get inspired. Welcome back to the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist podcast for dancers, actors, singers, writers, visual artists, any kind of artist who wants to stay creatively alive in a world that just keeps demanding more. I'm Lara, performer, creativity coach, and author of Audacious Artistry, and today we're talking about something that sounds responsible on the surface, but is quietly exhausting artists everywhere. Consistency. More specifically, why hustle-style consistency is burning artists out and what actually sustains a creative life over time. Because if you were ever taught or you've ever thought, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, this is what I was taught, but why do I feel worse? Why do I feel so stuck or sad or low energy in my creativity, my art? This episode is for you. Now, before we dive in, I want to name briefly where this conversation comes from. My book, Audacious Artistry, Reclaim Your Creative Identity and Thrive in a Saturated World, explores this exact tension, how artists can build meaningful, beautiful creative lives without tying their worth to output, algorithms, or hustle culture. It's for artists who want to stay in it for the long game, and it's not just momentum, although it will help with that. And you can pre-order it at larabiancapilcher.com/book. However, it comes out this month officially, so depending on when you're listening, you're almost there. Now let's talk about consistency. Consistency has become one of those words that artists rarely challenge. We hear it everywhere. Just stay consistent. Keep showing up. Don't stop now. And on the surface, it sounds really sensible, doesn't it? It sounds great. But when I listen closely to artists in coaching sessions with me, particularly dancers or actors or singers or writers or visual artists, and I'm talking the freelancers in particular, what consistency often means in practice is something very different. It means these kind of things in practice to a lot of artists. Training through exhaustion, submitting while emotionally depleted and flat, forcing creativity on days your body is asking for rest, posting or producing out of fear, not intention. And I hear artists say things like, if I stop, I'll fall behind, or if I rest, I'll lose momentum, or if I slow down, I'll disappear. And they don't say it in that particular way, but it's what they mean. It's actually what so many artists fear. So consistency stops being about devotion to the work and starts being about self-protection. And the truth that's so hard to hear in the noise is that many of us artists aren't afraid of hard work. We're afraid of becoming invisible. And consistency becomes the coping strategy for that fear. I'm talking about unhealthy consistency. So why does hustle consistency backfire? So from a psychological perspective, this matters really deeply because human beings do not sustain meaningful effort through pressure alone. We sustain it through safety, recovery, and meaning. So when your creative life is built entirely around output, a few things happen, whether you notice them or not. First, your nervous system stays in this low state of threat. It feels sometimes like low-level anxiety, but it's actually your nervous system in that low-level state of threat. There's always something to keep up with, always someone doing more, always a sense that stopping equals danger. Second, creativity shifts from expression to performance. Now, this is dangerous because this is why you got started, the actual ability to show up with a creative voice and a creative point of view and uniqueness. This is where that very heart of what we do comes under threat. You stop asking, what wants to be made? How do I want to express this scene? How do I want to dance this choreography? How do I want to write this particular story? And you start asking, what will keep me relevant? And don't get me wrong, it's not that we don't, like writers will say, but I have to write for what sells, and dancers I have to choreograph for. I'm not saying ignore the market, but it's things like this, and something that artists rarely name, that rest starts to feel unsafe, not indulgent, not nourishing, just unsafe, because rest becomes associated with loss rather than actual creativity and the ability to continue to create beautiful, unique work that does show up in the world and does say, hey, I'm here, and does have an awareness of the market. So the truth I want you to hear is consistency without recovery isn't discipline. It's actually self-abandonment to the artist within you. It's self-abandonment. Artists who last don't always create constantly on some sort of rhythm. Look, there's always outliers. There's people listening that I do and I'm fine and I'm good. Well done you. This is amazing. A lot of artists actually create in cycles, and that is completely normal. They move through seasons of output, seasons of absorption, seasons of integration and rest, and it's not laziness. It's not. This is how creative identity survives over decades, not just seasons. Really important. So if this is landing for you, I really want to offer you something supportive. It's a free 30-minute video download called The Artist Momentum Reset. It actually has another name. You'll have to go to larabiancapilcher.com/masterclass to see. It's not a live call. There's no pressure to book anything. You just watch it quietly, notebook, pen, because there's some reflective coaching prompts in there. And it will help you as an artist to understand why pushing harder often backfires. And how to build momentum in a way that actually supports your nervous system, works with you, human being, creative soul, and your creative identity. Get it at larabiancapilcher.com/masterclass free. Let's come back to what sustainable consistency really looks like. And this matters because I know a lot of you don't want to be a little dynamite that does its thing and burns out and never comes back. You want to be an artist for life. Find that creative voice and keep showing up. So the reframe, what actually sustains artists is this. Sustainable artists don't ask, how do I show up every day no matter what? Okay, that's not a bad question, but I want to add to that and change the way we say that or think that. Ask this, what rhythm allows me to return to the work again and again without resentment? What rhythm? That's a crucial difference because rhythms can ebb and flow like a musical chart or score. Consistency that sustains artists might look like returning after a pause, staying connected to identity. Like, what do I need today? Have I eaten a healthy lunch? Have I had water? Have I walked? Have I had some vitamin D in the sun? It's not just output, output, output. What have I done to nurture my creative soul? What input's coming in? And trusting that rest is part of the process, not a failure of the process. You lose it when the work becomes something you dread instead of something you belong to. Your creativity doesn't need constant pressure. It needs trust. It needs you to be in a rhythm with it, not in a force with it. So the little coaching exercise I give in every episode called Creative Spark this week is an invitation for you to treat this like real coaching. It's an exercise, not a throwaway thought. So if you've got the ability to get a piece of paper, do that, or do an audio recording after the episode, or whatever you need to do. You could open your notes app and complete this sentence honestly. I believe consistency means fill in the blank. Then ask yourself, where did I learn that definition? Does it support my body, my nervous system, and my creative identity, my personality? What I know works for me? What would consistency mean if it were defined by return, not production, produce, but return? Finally, rewrite the sentence. For me, consistency means. Now write the healthy version and sit with that. That's the rhythm you're allowed to build from here. Before we close, one last note. If you're navigating creative life and a long-term relationship or marriage, my husband and I, my husband's name is Andrew, host another podcast called Marriage, Intimacy and Healing, and it's a practical space for couples who want connection without pressure, and you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts or go to andrewandlara.com. Remember, today is not about doing more. It's about staying without burning yourself out, staying in this beautiful artist creative life for the long haul. Thank you for listening. And if this episode resonated, share it with a friend and follow, subscribe, Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist Podcast so you don't miss episodes that come out every single week. And head to larabiancapilcher.com/book to get audacious artistry. And as always, I'm with you on the journey, friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Artist Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an inspiring conversation or actionable insight. You can read the show notes and learn more at larabiancapilcher.com. And be sure to share this episode with fellow artists who could use a little extra inspiration. Until next time, keep creating, stay audacious, and remember, your artistry matters.